Hello, included with your Portico WordPress theme is our new intro landing page. And on this intro landing page is an animated welcome of sorts. It has your website name, a tagline, a secondary tagline, and an optional third tagline, and then a sort of a byline of sorts down at the bottom here. And if you were to click on the enter option here, it'll take you to whichever page you specify as being linkable for that. Now I'll show you where all of these items are configured a little bit later on in this video, but this is sort of a tour of the features. So clicking any one of these options up at the top does not take you to a page. Instead, it links you to a region within this one page. So it's a one-pager, and you can have up to 8 buttons here, which correspond to up to 8 regions. And these regions are delineated on the page that uses the intro template. So we've got the welcome page here, and it's using the intro template here. And you'll see that if we go over to Layout Manager, that instead of seeing header top, header main, header bottom, breadcrumb utility, and the things we normally see on a template page, we're going to see intro panel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and footer. Intro panel 1 is you're going to need to keep an animated logo in there in order for the page to be configured properly. The intro panel 2, and we've got the contains a content region, and that's the content for the page, as well as we've got the new Isotope portfolio, a quotator, and a contact form. And it's intended so that if you really just wanted to have a one-pager, just a quick information site that you want to have all your information on one page and you want to have easy navigation up at the top of the page, this is the layout that you would use. It also has a really awesome looking little animated intro sequence up at the top. Once the page loads, it just animates in, bounces everything in, shows the text, and voila, here you go. And as I've mentioned, this enter button here will take you on to the rest of the website. Now if you wanted to have menu buttons within this region, it operates just the same as any other widget region where you can have, for example, if you wanted to use for here, instead of it being custom region 2, we wanted to use main content area 2, or better yet, here's another example, and have this divided out so that you would have your breadcrumb SEO tags, content region, content panel group, and a custom menu, and whatever else you want on the right hand side. You can certainly do that. So you can have other buttons throughout the page or links throughout the page. Just let that save, and we'll just show you how this would then look. As you can see here, this is how it would look. Now again, it's all up to you how you want to style these different regions. But by default, we've gone and just placed just content in here for you to use. And again, it is intended to be sort of a one-pager landing page for your. Instead of having a regular website with 6 different pages, this could just be used instead as a single page. But I'm going to move on to showing you how to configure a lot of these little components here. We're going to go back to here. We're going to change that back to the default, which is main content area. Nope, it was custom region 2. So there you go. Change it back to a 1 column. All right. So each one of these you can move the items that I've pre-configured for you off to different panels if you wish. But how do you label each of those panels? It's the menus label right here. So welcome, features, portfolio, testimonials, and contact us. And by changing that, just exclamation mark here, and you'll see that once I've updated it and the page has saved, and we go over to back here, we're going to reload, and then we're going to see an exclamation mark there. So that's how you go and update the labels for the menu buttons. They automatically link to each one of the panels. For this situation, features is here, portfolio, testimonials, and contact us is how I've got this set up. All right, moving along, what about the animated logo? So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to Widgets panel and go take a look at the logo sidebar region. And in this one, we've got the animated logo. And we give a couple of different options. Well, first of all, we have the enter button link to page. So by default, I believe it's going to be the home page if it's not already specified. And then you can specify the enter label, the website name label, the primary tagline, secondary tagline, the tertiary tagline, and the what you see down at the bottom, the established line. And you can leave these as the defaults, and if we use the defaults, then we would then be pulling from the page SEO metadata, and I'll show you where that is in just a second. Or we can disable them altogether so it doesn't show up. For example, if I just do this, I'm going to hit disabled, and then we reload this. And once I go and reload this, you notice this top area is not going to render. See? So that's what happens when you disable a particular part of the widget. Moving along here, I'm going to turn it back on. We're going to say custom. So I'm specifying a custom enter label there. We're going to reload this. It's now no longer disabled, but we're going to be using the custom option, and it's going to be go instead of enter. All right, so you can specify that there. And that the same goes for the website name, which is here, the primary tagline, the secondary tagline, optional tagline, and the final line here. So this is what your website name is if you're using the default setting. So if it's set to default, it will use whatever your website name is. The primary tagline is the H1. This is your H2, H3, and H4, as I will show you in just a second. Let's move along here. Let's go back to your pages. And then, right, the welcome page. So I just mentioned the default settings for the animated logo. That is over on the SEO tab here. And you'll see primary tagline, secondary tagline, optional tagline, and the optional description is the established 2014. And so that's where that animated logo pulls from if you use the default settings. Now, there's one other new component on this page, which I'll just briefly show you, and that is the Isotope portfolio. It uses a new custom post type called portfolio, and you'll notice this down here. We've got portfolio and portfolio items. It uses, we'll just show you, the Isotope portfolio. You may have seen something like this before, where it removes items, resizes them, and zooms them in. And you can specify different post tags for this. So these ones I've specified as being river and water and scenic and lake, or you can show all. And it's a really great way of having portfolio items. And if you're to click on into these, or you can see a larger image, we'll just click off. And or you can link directly to the portfolio item. It takes you to this portfolio item, and here you are. Now, we'll just show you here briefly. This is using the new widget that is designed for this theme, which is called Portfolio. You'll see this in the custom region 3 that we've set up. Down here, there's a portfolio, and there's nothing really to configure in this. And basically what it does is just pulls up the portfolio. And to see this, the items, if you want to edit them or create new ones, they're all listed here. And you can click edit and give it custom post tags as well right over here. And that's more or less it. Give it a featured image if you obviously want it to show up within that portfolio with an image. And that's pretty much all there is to it. There is also another way if you wanted to, and this is unrelated to the intro page, we want to take a quick look at rendering the portfolio within a page itself, standalone page. There is the portfolio page which we've included, and which just uses this little short tag as you see here. anyways, that sums up the new intro page, landing page with animated text logo or welcome. And I hope that makes sense and answers your questions.